Being a Scrum Master is one of the easiest ways to earn a six-figure salary. And it's also one of the easiest ways to get into tech without having to write any type of code. You literally do not have to be technical, or you don't have to be a software developer to be a Scrum Master. Now, no wonder many people are switching careers to become a Scrum Master. It's really a juicy role, I must say. But the sad reality that many people who are switching careers and trying to become Scrum Masters are unable to get jobs like they thought. So what could be the problem? Guess what? That is what today's episode is all about. In today's episode, I'm going to be sharing insights into why many people are unable to get Scrum Master jobs and what you can do about it. So if this is what you're looking for, trust me, this episode is filled with so many tips that would help you so that you can land that dream job. But before we get right into it, let's have some introduction. Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Yinka and I am an Agile coach with over 10 years of experience. I've been privileged to work for many multinational organizations and I've built a wealth of experience, some of which I'll be sharing with you in today's episode. Now, let's get back to the question. Why are so many aspiring Scrum Masters unable to find jobs? Now, the very first obvious one that I think everyone should know by now is one of the reasons why you're unable to find a job is literally because you don't have enough knowledge. And that's the sad truth. You don't have enough knowledge. Now, you have some type of knowledge, but that will not help you out. You need to have sufficient knowledge in Agile, not just Scrum, if you want to land yourself a job. Now, some people are lucky that they didn't have enough knowledge and they were able to still land themselves a job. And that's why I use the word luck. But now that many people are tripping into this industry, luck is not really going to play on your side anymore. So what then must you do? You need to self-develop yourself. You need to embrace this Agile knowledge. You have to spend time understanding Agile. Spend time understanding not just Scrum. Spend time understanding the frameworks, the tools, the practices, the values, the principles of Agile and how they are applicable to our day-to-day work. Right now, so many people are trying to get into this industry, so the competition is quite a lot. But those that are able to stand out are people who have an in-depth understanding of Agile, not just in-depth knowledge. You have to have the knowledge, but more importantly, you need to understand how he works and how he relates to the way we work, because you're not going to be in interviews where people are going to be asking you what is Scrum or what is Agile, right? Nobody does that. They're going to be asking you situational questions, and then you need to have been in that position to be able to respond intelligently. And that's where the gap lies, because you haven't spent time understanding how this framework works. You haven't spent time, understanding the practices. You haven't spent time understanding why we do the things that we do, what outcomes we're going to get when we do certain things. Then it's impossible for you to be able to explain what you will do in a situation. You sometimes might be able to get away with book knowledge, but there's just a limit to where book will get you to. And that's why you spending that time and reading, understanding, practicing is super important for you. And that's a first mistake many of you are making. And so please dedicate that time to really understanding Agile. Dedicate at least 3 hours every day. If you need something badly, you will find a way. So if you really want this job, you will find a way to make it work. You will find a way to study. You will find a way to get in sync with people who are already in the industry. So whatever you can learn, whatever you can grab, you will get it. And I appreciate the fact that you're also watching this YouTube channel, because that is an effort. But ensure that every type of knowledge, wherever you can get it, whether it's a podcast, whether it's a video, whether it's a book, whether it's talking with, a current Scrum Master, whether it's whatever it is you can do, ensure that you are dedicating that time to understanding the concept of Agile. How well do you know the frameworks? Do you know the team frameworks? Do you know the scaling frameworks? Do you understand how they work? Why do we do certain things that we do? So you just knowing that Scrum exists and Scrum is an Agile framework is not enough for you. What is it about Scrum that makes it valuable to the teams? Why should your team choose Scrum over Kanban? What is the benefit of that Scrum? What is the benefit of that Kanban that a team would get if they choose this type of framework? Do you even have that in-depth understanding of it? Not just you having book knowledge. Why do we do the things that we do? It's important that you understand it, because that way you are more confident to be able to answer those interview questions, and you increase your chances of getting a job. So please, the first problem that you have is you don't have enough knowledge. And no matter how much we try, no matter how much I come up with YouTube videos, no matter how much I create podcasts for you, you still have to do that due diligence and go deeper to understand, what more did she say? What did she talk about? What more can I research? What more can I do? How can I search for that knowledge? How can I, improve my learning? You have to make it work for yourself. So please spend quality time understanding, learning, practicing. It's important if you want to get a job. Now, the second reason why many of you do not have jobs is because many of you do not have proper training. Many of you get 2-day training from every Tom, Dick, and Harry out there that is offering training. I'm sorry to say. There are people who are specialized in training. There are people who qualify to train you. You should only get training from those kind of people. There are 3 types of entry-level certifications that every Scrum Master needs. You need a CSM, you need a PSM, or an SSM. Now, a CSM is Certified Scrum Master. It is issued by Scrum Alliance. The PSM is Professional Scrum Master. That is issued by Scrum.org. The SSM is Safe Scrum Master, which is issued by Scaled Agile. Now, those 3 certifications, there are people who are qualified to train you. Stop getting training from anyone who is advertising that they are offering training. Do they even have the requirements to be able to train you well? It's one thing for somebody who has 6 months of experience to train you. It's another thing for somebody who has a wealth of experience. And on top of that, that person is a qualified trainer to train you. There is a difference. Now, the people who are qualified to give you a CSM, which is Certified Scrum Master by Scrum Alliance, are CST. These people are Certified Scrum Trainers. Anybody who wants to train you where you want to get a CSM certificate and does not have a CST or any of those qualifications, because even somebody who is a CEC can also certify you. Go online. And it goes back to my first point that you guys are not even doing your due diligence. You just want a miracle to happen. I'm sorry. It's not easy for you to earn 6 figures. It's not easy. You have to put in the work. And so when you don't even do your research about the people who are training you, then what are you doing? What are you doing? Go to Scrum Alliance. There are people who have the right certifications to train you. Now, why do you need those people to train you? Because those people have the right amount of knowledge. They have the right information. They can train you the right way. They're not just training you based on even mistakes, because there are people that will train you, and everybody's going to train you based on their knowledge and understanding. So what training do you want to get from somebody who has 1 year of experience? What training do you want to get from somebody who has 6 months experience? The fact that the person was lucky enough to get a job does not mean that the person is good. Don't get it confused. I get it. You are new, you're overwhelmed, and somebody's just talking and you feel like, oh, this person is awesome. No, don't be blinded by all of that. Do your due diligence and research. Anybody that wants to certify you needs to have the right certification. Now, where the problem really lies is all those people that are giving you PST. Now, you know that all you have to do is go online, go to scrum.org, and you can buy that certification for $150, right? And so any of those trainers that are not really qualified, they will train you, come up with random things, go online, pick up, Scrum guide and pick up all of those things, create slides for you, and then train you for God knows how long. And then they will tell you, either if you've paid the money to you and then they'll just give you the code, or they'll tell you to go purchase it. I'm sure most likely you would have paid for it. And then all they'll have to do is kind of like give you the code. So you go write the exam. You can do that yourself. You don't even need them to do that. You can do that yourself. And it goes back to my first point. Get knowledge, get understanding. Don't let people just bamboozle you, or what's the word now? Don't let people just kind of use your head in the industry, right? There's so many quack trainers out there, I'm sorry to say. But you need to go through the people who are certified to train you. You will find them online. For PST, a professional Scrum trainer who has a PST is qualified to train you to get certified. Even though you can go online, do self-study, and go buy a certificate and certify yourself, right? You can do that. But if you have to pay somebody to train you, then pay the right set of people. Pay the right people. Don't just pay anybody just because that person tells you I have the experience. Are they even teaching you the right thing? And no wonder you kind of have some type of knowledge, but you don't have understanding because they're probably not even expressing the why. They barely know the why. So how can they tell you the why when they are also struggling and they're just lucky? Right? So if you don't get the right training, then your foundation is affected. And so you need to pay attention to that. And if you want to also get the SSM, which is the Safe Scrum Master, they're SPCs. They're consultants who are qualified to train you, that Skilled Agile are certified. Now, the difference between those people and the regular people who train out there without these certifications is that those people have to do all types of exams to get certified themselves. So they've gone through this rigorous, exams and training and all that kind of stuff before they could get their certification. So in the process of doing all of that, they have gotten so much knowledge that is useful to you. And these are people who are in the field. They've been in that role for years. So they're not just, 1 year off the market, 6 months off the market, 2 years off the market. They are extremely experienced and they are knowledgeable, and that's why they are trainers. So please get trained by the right people. It would increase your chances of getting a job because you're getting the right foundation that you can then go build upon. Okay? But you're definitely still going to do the work. So even though you get trained by those that are qualified to train you, you're still going to have to put in the work, but at least your foundation is right, and then you can build on top of that. So just to do a quick recap, the first thing is you don't have enough knowledge. Your 2-day certification does not equate to knowledge. You have to self-develop yourself. You have to work on it on a daily basis until you know all aspects. You understand all aspects. You can practice all aspects that you know. You can implement it, right? That's how you know that you've built your knowledge. And it's a work in progress. And that's why I encourage that every day. Dedicate 3 hours, whether it's scattered across the day, but ensure that you're dedicating that time to improving yourself. And the second thing, get trained by those who are qualified to train you. Okay? Now, the third reason why many of you are still not getting jobs is because you're not putting into practice what you've learned. Now, it's one thing for you to do your certification and get that knowledge. It's one thing for you to be reading every day and building up yourself. What are you doing about the things you've learned? When you do nothing about it, you're going to lose that knowledge. You have to put it into practice. And that's how you build your experience. Now, everyone is like, oh, you need experience to be a Scrum Master. I don't have an experience. So how am I going to be a Scrum Master? First of all, it's not really the fact that you do not have experience. It's the fact that you have not experienced what to do with the knowledge. That's the reality. You have not experienced it. You have not put it into work for you to be able to learn your mistakes, for you to be able to know, oh, this is what would have happened. This is what I'll have done in this situation. This is what we can do differently. This is the result we will get. You have not put that knowledge into practice. So that is why you're not getting a job, because you're not able to express your knowledge and your understanding of Agile to your interviewer. So that person is like, you're not experienced enough. And so it's not only in the four walls of an organization that you can get your experience. You can get your experience with yourself. You can get your experience with your goals, whatever it is you're working on. You can get your experience with your family, with your friends, with projects, even people that go to church, whether you're a part of a department. You can get your experience and start building your experience there. Put your knowledge to practice. You cannot tell me that you don't have any goal that you're working on. So how are you implementing that goal? Are you implementing it in an agile way? What are you doing? Do you have a backlog for that goal? Do you have daily scrums where you check up on your progress on a daily basis? Do you have a time where you call sprint review when you review what you've done in the past week? Looking for a job is a job in itself. So why don't you make that your goal, right? Tell yourself, I want to get a job in 6 months' time. That is your goal. That is your project initiative. Now begin to break those down into smaller chunks. So create your epics, create your features, create your user stories. Now, what tool are you going to use? Get a free Jira board. Get a free ADO board for Azure DevOps. Put that into practice. That is you bringing your knowledge into practice and implementing it. So by the time you're in front of an interviewer, you are more confident because you've practiced it yourself. You know what it means to attend a daily scrum. You know what it means to attend a review, to have a retrospective. Have your friends. If you have colleagues or friends that are also looking for a job, you guys come together and create a team. Stop waiting for an organization to pay you to get experience. Like, who wants to pay $100,000 for you to now come and learn on top of them? Like, really? Right? So let's be real. Put that knowledge into practice, because the more you do that on a daily basis, the better you become. And then when you are better, you will speak better, and then people will see it and they'll be like, okay, you know what? I think this person can do the job and I will give you the job. You have to put in the work. It's important. You have to put in the work, because right now the industry is so competitive that luck is not really playing on everyone's side. Right? Gone are those days when you had little knowledge and you got the job. You were just lucky that the person who interviewed you did not have a clue, and so you were lucky. But if the people that interview you have a clue, then luck cannot be on your side. You have to know. Right? You have to know. So please create your own luck by standing out, being different. Stand out of the crowd. Get that knowledge, get that understanding, and more importantly, put that knowledge into practice. Now, another reason why many of you are not getting jobs is simply because many do not have the right mindset. Now, I get it. Money is a beautiful thing. Earning 6 figures is an amazing thing. Everybody wants to be rich. I get it. But you can't, want to get a Scrum Master job just because of the money. Because when money is the only thing that is driving you, you're going to make mistakes. You're going to make the wrong choices. You're going to want to look for shortcuts, and you're not going to learn. So let the fact that your why is bigger than just money, because then it will drive you, because you're trying to get into this industry for the long term. Now, I know that money should be able to drive you to some extent. You want to leave your current situation. You want to be able to live better. I get that. But you need a bigger why than just money. Because if it's just money, like money, the love of it drives us to do crazy things. So you need to have a bigger why. You need to have a bigger why that helps you have a bigger picture of you really and truly desiring to learn and knowing the fact and understanding. Because your goal should not just be to get a job. I'm sure you're not just trying to get a job. I'm sure that you want to keep a job. You want to grow in that job. You want to get promoted in that job and, earn bigger money and, achieve your goals and whatever dreams you may have. So you need to find your why, and money cannot simply just be your why. It's got to be bigger than that, so that way you are more driven to do the right thing in order for you to get the job. And you're not so big on cutting corners, because at the end of the day, it's one thing for you to get the job. It's another thing for you to be able to keep the job. So take a look at the bigger picture. You just do not want a job. You want to be able to keep it. Don't take the shortcut. Walk the long haul, because at the end of the day, it's going to benefit you. Okay? So build that right mindset. Have that mindset of the fact that the people that have this job, they don't have two heads, right? I've been in this industry for over 10 years. Like, there's literally nothing in Agile that I do not know. And every day I am still learning, because I have people that I coach on a daily basis. So I still have to learn. I have to keep growing. I have to understand what's the new thing. How can we apply this to work? How can I apply this to the leaders that I'm coaching? How can I apply this to my organization? Right? So we are always learning. We are continuous learners. There's never, a break. We never take breaks. And that starts with you having the right mindset. You have to have the right mindset. All of that helps you to get your job. Having the right mindset, knowing that you have everything it takes for you to be able to get this job is actually the starting point. Okay? So please stay positive. Take a look at the bigger picture. Look at beyond getting the job, right? What can I do with the opportunities if I do it the right way? Okay? And put that to work. Don't take short corners. It does not work out for anyone. So even if it looks like it may be working out for some people, eventually it would not work out. So just do the work, and you will be happy that you've done the work. You will be happy that you've done that work. Now, another reason that I've seen that makes many people not to get this job is simply because many people hope to become Scrum Masters. And this is still somehow related to your mindset, but I've decided to differentiate it because I want to spend a bit of time on this. Many people hope to become Scrum Masters. Many people do not desire to become Scrum Masters. And there's a difference. Hoping to become a Scrum Master is you just simply wishing to become a Scrum Master. You are not ready to do the work required to become a Scrum Master. And so as long as you keep hoping, that is you wishing, and you will never become one. You have to change from a hope to a desire. People who desire to become Scrum Masters are people who are consumed by the fact that they really need to accomplish this goal. And that desire is backed up by plans that do not recognize failure. So every day they walk towards it. They have a plan that backs up their desire, and they don't recognize failure. So the fact that they might be applying and they're not getting jobs, they still do not care. They're going to keep going. They're going to keep pushing. These people are consistent people. Those are the people that get Scrum Master jobs, not just people who are hoping or wishing. Nah, that's why you've been applying for quite a number of time, because it's simply a hope for you. It's not a desire, and you have to desire it. You need to have a plan. What is your plan? If you talk to me today and I ask you, like, what are the plans you have to help you get a job? What would you tell me? Do you have a concrete plan? And are you implementing that plan on a daily basis? And have you given up? How consistent are you with your plan? Right? How consistent are you? You can't just say, oh, I've applied for a job and I've been applying for a job and I've not gotten a job, and so I'm tired. I had a conversation with somebody one time who told me, oh, I've been looking for a job for about 6 months and I've not gotten a job. I think the industry is saturated and I want to go look for something else to do. And I'm like, really? First of all, you've been looking for a job for 6 months, and because you didn't get a job in 6 months, you want to go change your career. Anyway, you never truly started this career though. But then just hold up. What makes you think that the next industry you're trying to go start is also not saturated? Like, you're just telling me that you don't want to do the work. You're not truly interested. You're just hoping that you could stumble on becoming a Scrum Master, but you're not ready to do the work. And so I asked this question: how many jobs do you apply to in a day? He was like, oh, I apply to 1 or 2 a week. Really? Really? I guess you didn't get the memo. That applying for a job, it's a job in itself. And in jobs, we have 40-hour week. So you are spending probably 5 to 10 minutes applying for a job, 1 to 2 organizations per week. Really? Then it probably should take you about 6 years to find a job. Because, I mean, if you're spending 1 hour to 2 every week, really, maybe in 6 years' time, you should get yourself a job. So that kind of person is not putting in the work. And that is simply a hope. That's why you're not getting your job, because you're just wishing to stumble on that job. But if you're truly consistent, if you're persistent, if you have a plan, and you strongly desire to become a Scrum Master, you will do everything necessary to help you get this job. Those of us that have been in these roles don't have 2 heads, right? So you can also do it. Have the right mindset and desire to become a Scrum Master. Have a plan. Walk towards your plan on a daily basis. And I shared that with the first tip. Spend about 3 hours on a day building yourself, furnishing your skills, refining your skills, getting better, asking questions, doing everything it takes. Find out people who are in the industry, who can help me. How can I get more information? What podcast can I listen to? What video, whatever it is that would help you. That is all part of the plan. And these are the things you need to do if you want to get this job. Now, another thing that you need to do, now this is not a must, but another thing that you probably should consider if you want to get this role is for you to get a mentor. Now, the reason why I say that you should consider getting a mentor is because a mentor helps you to avoid a lot of mistakes. Now, before you get a mentor, please do your due diligence. Also research on that mentor to understand that this mentor has everything to be able to help you in your journey. Now, two, before you also go ahead and get yourself a mentor, ensure that you've also played your part. Ensure that you're not going to the mentor with like a blank book. Do your due diligence. What have you researched about this industry? What do you know? What are you trying to understand? Because that way it will help you also ask the right questions, which helps you get the most out of your mentor. Now, it's okay if you also haven't taken any steps and you've kind of heard about it and you want to, get a mentor to help you navigate your way. That is also fine. But at least understand that it's good for you to play your part. Do a bit of research. Let it not just be the fact that, oh, my friend told me about Scrum, they make good money and I want to do that. Like that can be all that you've done. And then you come and try to get a mentor. You're going to have to spend more time, which means that you might also likely spend more money, because if you're going to be if you're going to get a mentor who's going to be spending time with you and you haven't done that due diligence, we charge by the hour. Or if we have a cost program, you're going to pay for a cost program. They'll already have a price point, right? However, you're still going to have to do that research while you're taking that program, that coaching program, or if you're doing that mentorship with that coach. So my advice would be, do a bit of research, understand what the role is about, read the Scrum guide, have a basic understanding so that at least when you show up with a mentor, the mentor knows where you are and then can kind of help you through your journey and advise you to say, okay, you can do this, you can do this, you can do this, or that kind of stuff. So advise that you get a mentor because it would really reduce all of the mistakes that you would have made by trying to just navigate the industry by yourself. So it's really a good thing for you to consider having a mentor. But if you can afford a mentor, it's not the end of the world, right? It's not contingent in you getting a job, right? So I also want to change that motion because sometimes I also see people always saying that, oh, if I don't get a mentor, is it that I will not be able to get a job? No, people get jobs every day and they still don't have a mentor. But guess what? They put in the work themselves. You have to be able to put in that work yourself, right? But if you want to shorten your journey and kind of like navigate the whole path in the industry and make it easier for you to know what to do, then a mentor will help you. Okay. So that's why I encourage you getting a mentor, but it is not a must that you need to have a mentor. It's just something that I will advise if you really want to increase your chances, because then that person can coach you to the right things. Okay. Another reason why many of you are not getting jobs is because many of you are not networking. Networking is important if you want to get yourself a job. Do you have recruiters as friends? Do you have meetups that you regularly attend? Are you on any platform that discusses Agile and Scrum? How are you networking? You can't get a job without networking, right? Now, some of you are probably just applying, and that's okay, right? That is the traditional way of applying. But if those are not working for you, then you probably want to try another approach. And networking is clearly a good approach you want to try. So I encourage you guys to network. Now, I get it that many of us are still remote, but there are many online networks that you could do. There are many meetup groups, many Scrum meetup groups, many Agile meetup groups online that you can join that will help you meet other people, get other information, attend conferences, attend workshops. Networking is important. It is extremely important. I can't remember the last time in my life that I actually went on a job board to apply for a job. And that's the honest truth. Because I have a network of recruiters that I work with. If I'm going to be getting off a project, I already have a recruiter that I will probably call and say, you know what, I'm getting off a project and I want another project, and the person will say, send me your resume, and they'll go do all that work. Now I get it. I'm experienced, right? So it's different, right? However, you can still build that network. It started one day for me, and it can always start one day for you. Build that network of people. You can't survive without people, right? People always help people. You'll be shocked at how people get jobs. Like, people don't get jobs the conventional way anymore. Now we still get jobs, the conventional way. Don't get me wrong, right? But people get jobs in unconventional ways. People get jobs just by attending maybe a workshop and you met somebody and the person's like, oh, there's an opening in my organization, right? I've met people get jobs in the least amount of ways you could imagine. And it's all about networking. It's all about you communicating. It's all about you talking, spending time, meeting people. You can't be looking for a Scrum Master job and you're hanging out with doctors. Like, really? They're doctors. They don't know anything about Scrum or Agile, right? You got to hang out with the people who understand the industry so that they can refer you and then you can get that job that you want. So please make sure that you're making effort to network. Now, I know that, you're probably expecting a few other things like, oh, my resume and all that kind of stuff. All of those things are extra things. When you do all the things that I talk about today, your resume is a piece of cake, because at the end of the day, by the time they see your resume, you will be able to defend yourself. And that's where the problem lies. Some of you have perfect resumes and then they get to call you and you can't even defend your resume. So having the perfect resume is not the solution. You need to have the knowledge, the information, because many people are just copying other people's resume. So let's not even go there, right? While a clean resume is good and it will get people to even see you and then reach out to you, you also need to prepare yourself for that opportunity, right? So clearly, you also need to work on your resume, but I don't want to talk about it here because I feel like that's basic. You should already know that, right? You should be able to know. And I think I already have another episode or a video that probably addresses, resume. So this is updated information on the reason why you are not getting a job and things that you should be doing that will help you get that job. And I think probably about now, I'm sure I've spent a long time, so please forgive me. I hope it was worth your stay, for those of you who have stayed for this long or have stayed, listening for this long. Thank you so very much. I love you guys so much. Thank you for always listening to my episodes week after week. Thank you so much for those of you who will be watching this video. Thank you so much for watching. And, please, like I always say, share, like, subscribe, leave a review, let your social groups know about this podcast, the Exceptional Scrum Master Podcast. Let your social groups know about my YouTube channel. It's at oh shoot, I forgot my YouTube channel. Online Agile Coach, or Your Agile, oh my Lord. Your Agile Coach. I am so sorry. Like, gosh, I'm thinking about a lot of things this morning. Okay. And I think I'm hungry. But yeah, it's Your Agile Coach and it has my pretty face on it. So watch out for me. Catch me on YouTube. Catch me on Spotify or Apple Podcasts. I love you guys so much. Thank you so much. I cannot wait to catch you in the next episode. Bye for now. All right, let's cut this.